Good morning, everybody. So it's about 5:30. There is a full moon out, so I have plenty of light, and I'm just about packed up. So this is working out really well. About to take the tent down and then make some breakfast before the sun rises. So hopefully I have a really good day today. Well, the camera can't pick it up. There was some lightning there. That's really cool. But the camera can't barely pick it up. But it is super beautiful out here in the moonlight. We'll see if any of this is usable. So that storm over there is on the other side of St. Joe, and apparently it's supposed to all dissipate before it gets here, so hopefully they're correct. Well, I can't complain. It is an absolutely beautiful morning. The sun is starting to rise, and I've just made coffee, about to make breakfast, and then going to get everything packed up and start heading off on the water. Just wow. That is just a cool sunrise. And only the second one I've seen on the trip. So, really cool. Alright, so everything is packed. So I just got to drag this thing into the water and take off. So one thing that I did is I switched out the pedals. And I brought out my other set because they're a lot more efficient. And I want to try to make some really good time today. So I'm going to stop talking and get to work. So I put this stick here last night. And the water level didn't change at all overnight. So that's pretty cool. Well, I'm off. And it is extremely beautiful. So it's a little bit before 6:30. So this is the fastest I've ever gone on this trip. It only took me like an hour to wake up, pack everything up, make breakfast, and get on the water. So, pretty cool stuff. Alright, I got a little bit of a headwind, but not too bad. And I'm in the main current here along the outer edge of the bend. And these new pedals, oh my gosh, it takes like less than half of the effort to pedal them as the older ones do that I have been using. So if anything's going to get me the 55 miles to Glasgow today, it's going to be these newer pedals. So I'm really excited. I'm going 7.5 miles an hour right now. So I don't know if I can keep that pace the entire day, but I'm sure going to try. Well, it's almost 7 o'clock and I've got a full moon on one side and an amazing sunrise on the other. So, pretty cool stuff. And I'm just rocketing down the river, and I'm staying about 6 to 7 miles an hour so far. Now that is just amazing. Like, really makes me wish I would have got up earlier on this trip a lot more, but man, it would have been a lot harder to do. But that is just beautiful. Well, one of the downsides to heading east into a sunrise is that is directly into my eyes. But it'll rise soon enough. But until then, while it's really pretty, it's kind of painful. Oh man, that is just so bright. I'm having to look straight down for the past like 20 minutes because the stuff bouncing off the water is just as bright as the sunlight. So really pretty, but I can't even look at it. So I will not be upset when the sun rises a little more or the river finally turns. Here's some of the pilings, or what's left of them. I've not seen a fully wrecked one with like all 3 full posts wrapped around with cables since I'd say maybe there was a couple in Iowa, like northern Iowa. But now it's all just broken off down here. By the time in Missouri, the river just is too strong. So, but that was really cool to be able to see what these looked like originally, because I had no idea. I just thought they were just, poles sticking up from back in the days, but to see them fully still intact was really cool. And I'm finally out of the sun. I tucked in here next to the shore, and at least for now, I'm not being blinded. Well, there's another buoy. Really makes you wonder how many of them do they place, because they're just scattered all over the place. So the sun is continuing to rise. I'm back in it again, and just staring off to the left the entire time to get away from the blinding glare, but hopefully I'm making good time. Well, it's about 8 o'clock and I just about lost my mic here. So I usually keep it clipped onto my life jacket right here, and I heard a noise as I turned around. Apparently I brushed it with my arm and it fell right there. So it was inches away from falling in the water and sinking to the bottom. So wouldn't have been the end of the world. I do have a second one, but it would have been really annoying. Especially so late in the trip to lose this. It would have been really, really annoying. But other than that, the sun has rose and I'm just trying to cruise down the river. It's a beautiful morning. Passing by mile marker 270. So it's a little after 8:30 and it's a pretty normal day, just paddling down the river. So we'll see if I can make it until noon before I eat lunch. I'm definitely not used to waiting that long, and it probably gonna get a little hungry. So, but we'll see. Making pretty good time, so hopefully I can get to Glasgow at a reasonable time today. Always found it really interesting. There's a snag here that's under the water, but occasionally will bounce up like that. So there's a whole tree just bouncing up and down in the current. And the other problem is there's a train, but I keep hearing, I'm guessing vehicles, but motors behind me, and I keep having to look back to make sure there's no barge traffic or major boats coming downriver, and there's not. According to the marine traffic app, which isn't always correct, there's nothing in this area at all. So hopefully that's the case, but I keep turning around every minute or so to check. But yeah, it's going really well. It's really pretty out here, and just a beautiful day. So I haven't seen anybody yet today. It's a very empty river, and it seems to have slowed down a little bit as it keeps getting just wider and wider. So that doesn't help too much with the speed, but it's very interesting because it's a big river. Okay, so it's nearly 10 o'clock and I'm really hungry. So I have menu 17 pork sausage patty maple flavored. So it's the breakfast MRE. So I'm gonna have a bit of brunch. I'm not sure if I showed it, but I did have Rocky Mountain Scramble this morning. But I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat lunch a little early. Once I get to Glasgow, there are several options for food, so I should be able to eat quite a bit for supper, so won't be too big of a deal to eat lunch a little bit early. So I'm coming up on the town of Miami, so there's actually no need to stop because I just want to keep going, and that means I've gone 20 miles today so far, and it's only a little after 10, so doing pretty good. And it's another 35 miles to Glasgow, so hopefully it won't take too terribly long. So there's the Miami boat ramp, but I'm just gonna cruise on by. There's an old grain elevator up there on the hill, and down here is a very old and very collapsed barge loading facility. The entire piling has fallen over here, so pretty crazy stuff. Actually, it kind of looks like a broken barge. Never mind, that is a broken barge. So the piling is here, it's fine. So there's a barge here broken in half that's been here a very long time. And there's the Miami Bridge, which is another fairly new bridge. Alright, and just 35 miles until I can get some pizza. So there is a pizza place in Glasgow called Muddy Mo Pizzeria, so that's always an option. And if not, there's a Casey's fairly close too. if that's not open for whatever reason. So I'm pretty excited about either one of them, so we'll just see. And, you know, a shower, that'll be pretty exciting too. So as the Missouri River moves east across the state of Missouri, it kind of jogs north for a little bit, and I am currently at that northern point. So I'm near the town of Brunswick, but there is a massive grain facility here. Last time I went through here, it was mid-October, and there was a mountain of corn here, and they were loading barges as fast as they can. But right now it is currently September 9th, so it is not quite, it's not busy at all. A little too early. But I just passed mile marker 257, so I'm making pretty good time. So there's a very broken old barge there. It's been there for a very long time, literally has trees growing out of it. I wonder how long it has been sitting there. That'd be kind of interesting. But there's several grain barges tied up here. They've been here for a while, waiting for harvest season. They have a grapple excavator to unload barges and a pretty good sized grain loading facility there. Got a big tower there again. So pretty interesting stuff. And very not busy, which is just kind of crazy because last time I was here it was kind of insane. There was so much going on. Anyone need a deep freeze? It's just slightly used. Looks like the door is sitting right next to it. No, it has a door. That's just a door off a different fridge. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? Wow. So it is about noon, and it's just a beautiful day. It's pretty cloudy, but nice and cool, and there's just a slight wind. So just a really good day to hopefully make some good miles. So unfortunately, that storm I saw this morning, the lightning, is starting to move in. It looks like it might just sprinkle a little bit, but that's it. But it still means that it's drawing air in as it moves into the area, and it's turned into a pretty decent headwind. So it's definitely cutting my speed down by quite a bit, which is not ideal because I've got a pretty far way to go to Glasgow, so hopefully I can still make it. And another buoy on the shore. They're just about everywhere, it seems like. And another cool thing is there's a big old eagle nest up in that tree. I don't actually see the eagle, but that thing's probably over 4 feet across. There's a soft cooler. It's the first one of those I've seen. It's kind of funny. So I've kind of tucked up against this shore and out of the wind for now until the next turn. So we'll just see. Hopefully I'm making pretty good time. Well, I'm just kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's this old barge loading facility here. So definitely not in use anymore, but it's just not near anything. So kind of crazy. I haven't seen anything in quite a few miles. Just tree-lined river. Yep, so if you ever wondered what it's like to travel down the Missouri River in Missouri, 90% of the river is just like this. It's big tall trees, rocks along the shore, and a big wide open river. This is really starting to feel like a fall day. Kind of cloudy and cool, a little wind, and it is September, so pretty enjoyable. Well, it started to sprinkle. It's not too big of a deal. It's not supposed to last very long. This is just what's left of that storm I saw this morning that's been moving in all day. It's just a few minutes of light rain. And in front of me is another wrecked barge. There's just a lot of them. So this one's pretty interesting. It looks like it used to be part of like a loading system, would be my guess. There's kind of like a bridge there that probably connected to what's most likely a quarry a long time ago, and it eventually sunk and they abandoned it. So pretty cool. Some kind of big winch system there. Starting to see some rocks. We'll see if we see any large bluffs today. I can't remember if there are any in this area. But that's a big chunk of stone right there. Well, it's 3 o'clock and I've gone 40 miles today already. So I got another 15 to Glasgow. So hopefully I can get there at a reasonable time. I'm passing by Dalton Bottoms boat ramp, and I stayed there one night on my last trip. So just kind of cool to see it again. And I got an amazing sunset picture, which hopefully I'll be able to find and put in the video. Right there next to that vault toilet. But I'm going to continue down and hopefully get to Glasgow today. I don't see why I won't, but you never know with the river. There's 2 whitetail there on the shore, on that little sandbar. So, kind of interesting, but there are a lot of whitetail in Missouri. Another buoy. So I'm about 5 miles out from Glasgow, and it's about 5 o'clock. So doing pretty good. So this is definitely, I think, one of the longest days I've had on this trip, miles wise, and probably hours wise. Passing by mile marker 231, and I can see Glasgow around the next turn. So that's pretty exciting. Finally made it. Or I nearly finally made it. Alright, well, there's the town of Glasgow. I finally made it, and it's 6:05. So it took 12, by the time I get there, and it'll be about 12 hours. So not too shabby for 55 miles. At least with my heavy boat. Okay, so here's kind of my plan. The boat ramp is on the other side of the bridges, and there's not much there beside the boat ramp. It's a little bit away from town. So what I did last time when I went through here is I stopped below the town and just on the bank there. Then I crawled my way up a steep bank and walked up to town and had a meal at a restaurant up there, and then went to the Casey's and went back down to the boat, which is what I think I'm going to do, except I don't really feel like going to a restaurant. I'm pretty gross. I don't have a whole lot of daylight left, and so I think what my plan is to just go to Casey's, buy some food there, buy some junk food, and then go back down to the boat, go down to the boat ramp where there's a campground, take a shower, and then just continue down the river and find a nice sandbar. That's kind of my plan at the moment. So there's quite a few steps in that, and we'll see if I have enough daylight to complete it all. There is a campground at Glasgow that I can stay at if I need to, but I'd prefer not to, just so I don't have to pull this boat up out of the water, because it's heavy and I prefer not to stay at campgrounds if I don't have to. So yeah, that's the plan. So the first step is to get over here below the town, pull the boat up on shore, and then go for a quick hike up the hill. Okay, so I'm kind of pulled up here. Last time I did this, it was in mid-October, and there was a lot less vegetation. So hopefully I can do this without too much trouble and, avoiding poison ivy. That's another goal. But I won't find out until I try. Okay, so the boat is staked out there and it's tied to a large rock and a large tree here. So I think it's gonna be fine. So I'm just going to grab some supplies real quick and start climbing. Well, I made it, but I'm covered in stickers, and I would suggest not doing that. That was a fairly terrible climb. But I did it. And here's Casey's. Okay, so I got some pizza and some drinks and some chips, so honestly that probably wasn't worth it. The amount of stickers I have on me, it's gonna take way too much time to take off. So probably a lot more work than it was worth. But I got some hot food, so I'm excited. Okay, so the real trick's gonna be getting back down to the water. So this probably wasn't the smartest idea I've ever done. But I did it before and didn't have any trouble, but this time there was trouble. Okay, well, going down was actually surprisingly really easy. It wasn't bad. I got a couple more stickers on me. But other than that, I got food and I'm about to get back on the water. So it all worked out. It was just, other than getting covered in stickers and having to spend a little time getting rid of those, this worked out just fine. So good, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna get this boat back in the water. Okay, so the boat ramp is on the other side of the railroad bridge and the highway bridge here, where I know there's a bathroom with a shower. So I'm going to pull up to the boat ramp and grab my shower stuff, take a very quick shower, and then get back on the river. I've still got like over an hour of light left, so this should work out perfectly. Another big grain elevator. And here's the rail bridge and the highway bridge. There's some big sand piles here. I don't know exactly how they unload them, but quite a bit of sand. And the boat ramp is right here. Well, after having a minor heart attack for not finding my camera for a second, I'm pulled up to the boat ramp. I'm going to tie the boat up real quick and then go up there, take a quick shower. Okay, so the boat's down there at the bottom of the ramp, and the reason why I'm not too interested in staying here is that the campground's over there where those RVs are. Very far away. And the bathroom's the white building over there. So everything's really far away. Last time I actually drug my boat all the way over there and back, and it was a lot of work. And I would much rather just stay on the sandbar tonight. So that's the plan. I just have to quickly take a shower. I gotta say, I remember everything being a little far apart, but not quite this far apart. It's a little bit of a walk over here to the bathroom. Okay, one shower later, I feel a lot better. That was amazing. So there is a pavilion here with power and water, but I don't need any of that since I got it all at Waverly. So I'm just gonna head back to the river and float down a little bit till I find a nice little spot to stay the night. Got some church bells going in the distance, and I'm back to the boat. So I'm just gonna float down till I find a nice sandbar and set up camp. Pretty exciting stuff. I'm really glad I got a shower. That was amazing. Okay, so I'm off, and it is 7:17. Got a shower and I'm still able to head down the river. So I got about a half-hour light, I'd say. So don't want to go too far with it before finding a spot. Well, I passed a couple marginal spots. Hopefully that wasn't a mistake. And I'm just cruising down looking for a slightly better one. So we'll just see. I'm not out of light yet, so I'm not too worried. The light is starting to fade, but the only sandbar coming up is the one I was aiming for, about 2 miles downstream. So I do have a pretty bright flashlight, so if I have to, I'll use that. And the moon should be rising any minute too. It was a full moon last night, so hopefully that'll be some help. There's a lot of work barges here. There's 3 massive excavators sitting on 3 different barges with a big towboat and a little one and all kinds of equipment. So apparently they're staging a lot of stuff here to work on repairing wing dams. So pretty interesting just to see all of it in one place. I say this probably would have freaked me out at the start of the trip, about to run out of light going down the river, but honestly I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, yes, there are some dangers, but yes, I also know them all. I've been on this river for quite a while, so just stay in the main channel and it'll be fine. So that's the plan. Just, it's only right around this next corner is the sandbar, so there's a good chance I'll get there before the light even completely fades. I don't know how much the camera's picking up of this, but it is extremely cool and beautiful to be out here this late. Just extremely calm evening. The sun is just now setting and I've got a little bit farther to the sandbar. So I'm just staying in the middle of the commercial channel, and it's no big deal. Well, the camera probably can't pick up a single thing, but I can still see pretty well. So it's working out pretty good. So I've just got another mile to the sandbar. Well, I got my headlamp on. The annoying thing is I just got to the sandbar and it's not there. So it's not the end of the world, but it does mean I get to go a little farther in the dark. So, woohoo! Okay, well, I found the sandbar finally. It's a nice big one. So I'm going to set up camp and get to bed, because that was pretty late. So the sandbar was here. It was just farther downstream and not near as big as it was on satellite image, but I'm I don't know, probably 3.5 feet out of the water here, so it'll work perfectly. Okay, so it's a little after 9 o'clock and I'm finally in the tent. So I'm gonna get the bed set up and possibly edit a video, but most likely go to bed and do it in the morning. So yeah, with that, I think I'm gonna say good night. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.